Today, we're going to go over the 5 things that are essential for women to build success and abundance. I have worked for millionaire entrepreneurs and I have built multiple businesses myself, and I have seen what works and what is terribly tragic. Even the millionaires do some of those. I want to help you save time, and that's why I'm going to share with you these 5 principles, because when you implement all 5 of them, you are on your way for the highest success and abundance that you've ever experienced. Now, I will say number 4 was difficult for me to share. I toyed with it for a long time. In fact, for months, I've been like, no, that one's personal. I'm going to keep that one to myself. That's probably just what works for me. But now I've begun to realize that number 4 is essential for all of us. It's selfish of me to keep it to myself. And so I'll share that with you today. But for now, let's get started. If you enjoy what you're seeing, don't forget to like it and subscribe, because that will help this channel to grow and help more women to reach ultimate success and abundance, because there's enough for all of us. The first step is pretty simple, yet we all fall victim to the opposite. And that is having a plan. Sounds easy enough, right? But we make a plan for ourselves. We set this high goal, and all we have to do if we follow the plan is take each step up the ladder to get to the goal. But what happens? Well, we're walking up our beautifully built ladder, our perfectly set out plan, which, by the way, we spent days constructing the plan, because the planning is often more fun than the doing the plan, right? And then we go on Instagram and we see that, oh, little Susie Jane over here, she's on this path for the same goal, but she's got this ladder, and her ladder looks funner and faster, and obviously she's getting a lot closer to the goal than we are, so let's go try out her ladder. But the problem there is that you've made progress up your ladder, and now if you want to go join Susie Jane's, you have to climb down your ladder, then walk over to Susie Jane's and start hers. So you're pulling yourself back from success and abundance every time you jump ship or jump ladder. Another problem that a lot of women fall into, myself included, I have been there, is Instagram coach hopping. Hear me out. So an Instagram coach is someone on Instagram who's giving you all of their best tips for free in hopes that you will eventually buy their main product, right? But if you are trying to kind of DIY it and figure out yourself, you watch this one Instagram coach who does it this way, and then another Instagram coach who does it that way. And you kind of mix it together and come up with your own plan, which sort of is working. But then all of a sudden, another random Instagram coach comes on your feed because Instagram's like, oh, they're interested in this. I'm going to show them more. And then you're like, oh, well, this girl says this, and it's the opposite of coach A and B. So now what am I going to do? And that either sends you into paralysis or has you jumping ladders yet again. And come to find out, Coach C has no followers and she's just making all this ish up. But you've been so frantic about trying to find the right strategy that you can't even see which strategy makes sense, which strategy doesn't, and more importantly, which strategy makes sense to you. When you're picking a strategy, it needs to be a concrete strategy on its own and a concrete strategy for your business. They have to blend. There are so many plans out there for paying off your debt, for building your business, for homeschooling your child. If one plan is concrete but doesn't match your business or your goal or your dream, whatever that is, they will not align. Don't jump ship. Don't be like Susie Jane going up and down a ladder, right? Stick to your plan. You know what's good for you. You know what's good for you to hit your goals. So stick to your plan. See it through to fruition. And then stay consistent. Because if you don't have the space or capacity to stay consistent with your plan, I am so sorry to tell you, honey, but you do not have the space or capacity to accept success and abundance in your life. The second step is time management. So once you have your strategy for whatever goal you're trying to achieve, you have to be very strategic with your time. This means not saying yes to every single person that asks something of you. This means not volunteering at all of the PTA clubs and all of the city council clubs and all of the church clubs. I don't think any of them call clubs, but you know what I mean. You have to be very strategic with how you're spending your time. In a way, you need to have a strategy around your time management. For me personally, I have 3 things that get my main focus through a week, and everything else gets filtered through whether or not those 3 things are going to bring me success. You can see that in one of my other videos. I talk about how bullet journaling really helps me prioritize what's important and stick to my time management goals. Maybe I'll put a little bing, bing, bing up there for you so you can find it. When it comes to time management, remember this. If you give your time to everyone and everything, you will have no time or energy left over to spend on what really matters. Because what really matters needs a lot of your time. So even if you squeeze what matters into your day, you're like, I'm going to spend an hour on that, so at least I'm getting it done. That hour is going to be spent drained, chugging coffee, trying to get your mind wrapped around the big thing that needs more of your energy, but you don't have the space for it because you gave all of that time and energy to someone else. It is okay to say no. I'm giving you permission right now to say yes to what matters, because when you say yes to what matters, you show up better for the entire world. It's selfish of you to not show up for what matters, because the entire world needs you to fulfill your main purpose here on this earth. If you can't do that, we're lacking. We need you. So please say no to the things that aren't your purpose, that aren't fulfilling the reason you're here. Because the sooner you say no to that, the quicker you can show up for the rest of us who need you to shine in your full light of why you're here and who you are. I love who you are. Please show me more of that. Number 3 is self-care. Now, here we are again talking about being a little selfish, right? But if you aren't being selfish and taking moments for self-care, once again, you're not showing up fully, because we need those moments of taking care of our mind, our heart, our soul, and our body in order to have the energy to keep showing up for the reason we're put on this earth. Self-care is really at least twofold. One is the mental aspect of self-care. It's the ability to set things down, right? So it's going and taking yourself to get a massage, or getting your nails done, or going to the library, doing something that fills your cup. And then the second aspect is physical self-care. We have to keep our bodies moving, or our bodies will stop moving altogether. An object in motion stays in motion, and that applies to our physical well-being. If you are not eating healthy, if you are not moving your body constantly, your body is going to slow down. It's going to stop having the energy and the ability to do all of the things you want to do. Have you ever seen those 95-year-old women who've been working on a farm? I've seen them interviewed before, and they amaze me every time. They've been working on a farm their whole life, and so they can still jump and dance and be wild and silly because they kept their bodies in motion. And they are always so happy. I think it's because they've done some manual labor that feels good to their heart. It's what they've been called to do. And they're keeping their body moving. And that releases the endorphins in us that makes us more excited to show up in life. So whatever this means to you, keep your body moving. And that doesn't mean just carrying 5 loads of laundry up and down the stairs to the laundry room. That's not what that means. It means go for a walk, go for a swim, do a dance party with your kids, whatever it is that gets your body in motion and keeps your body in motion for 15 minutes or more a day, because that gives you the excitement, the energy, and the well-being for you to keep going. And then there's another part of self-care that I highly recommend and I think is crucial, and that is the soul care. That is the meditation aspect, right? So every morning I wake up and I do a little devotional, I read the Bible, and then I do a meditation. 5 minutes, that's all I do. It is a 5-minute, sometimes 6-minute meditation. And that little bit of quieting my mind and centering my body and my soul gives me the energy to keep going. So I think soul care is an essential part of self-care as well. And that kind of leads into step number 4. This is the controversial one that I kept thinking, no, this is so personal. This shouldn't matter to everyone. Yet it really, really does. And that is having faith. having some kind of faith. I don't care who you believe in or what you believe in, but if you don't believe in something bigger than you, your success is kind of futile. What's the purpose? Why are you striving for more if you aren't believing in even just the greater good, in the good in humanity, in the thriving of mankind? Find something, some faith in something bigger than you, because that'll get you a lot closer to success. For me personally, I am in love with Jesus. I think that is the best relationship that I could have ever asked for, and I'm super grateful to have it. But having that relationship, having that faith gives me more purpose, gives me more drive. And when times get tough, I have something to fall back on. I have something to rely on. I have a hope that is so secure in me that I know that giving up is not the answer. Giving up would be falling short of the reason I was put here on this earth. I was put here for a very specific reason. And even though sometimes the reason feels cloudy to me, I fall back to my faith, which gives me confidence that I'm headed in the right direction. Even through the fog, even through the cloudiness, even when times get tough and confusing and I just want to throw in the towel, I go back to my faith. I center myself. I say a prayer. I journal out my feelings and my thoughts, and I know that I'm on the right path because I believe that I was put on this earth for a reason. I believe that God has a plan for my life that is so big, and that faith carries me through. Now, there's one more aspect of this that is also really crucial, and it's when you have faith, you have a more generous heart. You have a generous well-being. So even if you don't want to have faith in God or humanity or anything like that, have faith in generosity. Because when you can be kind and generous to others, goodness comes back to you. Now, I'm not saying go and be generous so that you can have all the abundance and it flows, flows, flows. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying have a generous spirit. Be generous and giving with your heart so that you are open to receiving whatever comes back to you. Because when you're closed off and you're tight and you're holding on to everything that you've been given, you don't have space to open up and give to others. Your hands are too closed to receive all that this world has for you. There is a lot that you are destined for. But if you are keeping that all to yourself and not sharing and giving and loving on others, you have no space to receive what's meant for you. And finally, community. Community is so incredible. And I understand it is sometimes really hard to let yourself get into a community. It's hard to find a community, and it's hard to be vulnerable enough with other people because of how much some communities have hurt us in the past, right? We've all been hurt by certain popular girls or different cliques in our schools, in our families, in our lives in general. We've been hurt. So that shuts us down and closes us off to community and gives us this mentality that I can do it on my own. I don't need them. But girl, you need them. Oh, you need them. Because when you find the right community, they rally behind you. They believe in you. They cheer you on so much because they know what you are made for, even when you start to doubt yourself. You know what you're made for. You know the plan you want. But when defeat comes, it tears you down. It makes you start to doubt. It makes you start to wonder, what am I even doing? It makes you start to jump ship or jump ladders or jump strategies. It makes you lose your faith. It is so hard if you do it on your own. And it takes so much longer for you to reach success and abundance when you do it on your own. So find a community that will rally behind you, that will remind you of how incredible you are, because you are so incredible. And there are women out there who know that and who can cheer you on and who can remind you of your fullest potential. And if you don't know where to find it, I have a community. It's free. Come and join us and let us love on you. Let us remind you of how amazing you are and how much you are absolutely going to reach your top goal, because I know you will and they know you will. Let us remind you so that you know you will. That is the power of community. It is so special. It is so impactful. Oh, it is so necessary if you want to reach ultimate success and abundance. And that's it. That's all you need. Those are the 5 steps. Please, please believe in yourself. I believe in you. Here's to reaching your fullest potential. Oh, yes, you've got this.